Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Pascoe, and this video is all about the mind, body, and emotional aspects of the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. In this video, I will discuss the energy of the heart chakra, how to identify imbalances in heart chakra energy, and also I will offer holistic strategies to help reestablish balance if you find your heart chakra energy is out of balance. The heart chakra is located at the heart, right in the center of your chest. It is the bridge between the lower chakras, the body chakras, the first, second, and third, and the upper chakras, which are like the mental chakras and the spiritual chakras. And it's often referred to as the bridge between mind and body. The Sanskrit name for the heart chakra is Anahata, and Anahata means unstruck. And the energy of the heart chakra is in balance and at its best and fullest and free-flowing when it has not been struck or hurt. And getting hurt, experiencing loss or grief, that's what disrupts the heart chakra energy. So it's called Anahata. It's unstruck. It's healthy when it has not been struck or has been able to heal from a previous hurt. The purpose of the heart chakra energy in the system of the chakras offers the energy of love and compassion and kindness. And this fosters social development to be able to show that love and compassion and kindness to others and also receive it from others. The energy of the heart chakra develops around the age between 4 and 7 years old. This is the time a child first starts to go outside the home and foster relationships. It's usually when a child enters school age and has that opportunity to start to develop love and compassion and kindness for someone beyond their primary caregivers. When a child starts to be able to feel that energy of love and compassion and caring for others, and it starts to occur outside the home, this is a precursor to social identity. They start to see themselves develop that sense of self to the next level of who they are as someone who shows love and compassion, but also who receives it. And it's at this time that the 5 social emotional needs start to develop for that child. The need of attention, affection, acceptance, approval, and affiliation. The heart chakra energy starts to foster the development of all those energies, which makes that child a social being. So the heart chakra is located right at the heart. The energy also encompasses the lungs and the thymus gland, which is a gland that's associated with the immune system that's located around the heart region. So this energy of heart and lungs is affiliated with the element of air, because of course that's where air is in our bodies. It moves into our lungs and then facilitates circulation throughout the whole body. So it's associated with the element of air. The heart chakra is associated with the color green, and partly because that's balance. The heart chakra has a lot of balancing energies to it. It again balances mind and body. It's the bridge between mind and body. So the color green kind of has that mid-wave range of vibration, because color is always associated with the vibrational current. That's how we register color in our mind. So the color green, the element of air, and the body parts of the lungs and the heart and the thymus gland. As far as the physical senses, the heart's associated with a sense of touch. And that makes so much sense for this energy, because the energy is at the heart. And if you know, you don't have to know this, when you give a hug, that is all about touch. You connect heart to heart. The heart chakra is connecting and creating that feeling of love and compassion when you give a hug or when you receive a hug. And of course, your arms wrap around and activate the sense of touch. So in addition, the sense of touch out of the 5 physical senses is affiliated with the heart chakra energy. When the heart chakra energy is in balance, it looks like love. Love is your natural state, to be able to express love, to be able to receive love. So it looks like love. When the heart chakra is in balance, it looks like a capacity for compassion and empathy and kindness. And again, this is all both giving and receiving these energies. When the heart chakra is in balance, it looks like feeling peaceful, and that concept of equanimity, that you are even keeled regardless of what's going on. There's a peace in your heart to be able to handle that. It also looks like physical health, mind, body, emotional health, but physical health too, because the thymus gland, which is associated with the immune system, is located in the heart chakra energy. If it's in balance when you're not sick, when you are healthy and vivacious and just feel good and content and peaceful and engaged in your life. When the heart chakra is out of balance, and if we've talked in the other videos, the imbalances can show up both as excesses, there's just too much energy flowing, or blocks, which lead to deficiencies. So when the heart chakra is out of balance and there's an excess, that means there's too much love. It's not healthy, it's excess. So it can show up like codependency, obsession, dependency on somebody else, clinginess, kind of that martyrdom situation where you're just constantly trying to care for someone. There's not a healthy boundary between you or that other person. And again, I'm saying you, but you could just be thinking about people in your life and recognizing these imbalances. So the excess looks like pouring too much love where it's no longer healthy. It doesn't feel healthy. It feels heavy. It feels overwhelming. When the heart chakra is out of balance because of a block and then there's a deficiency in it, it looks like the opposite of that. It looks like a cold disposition, someone that's critical, judgmental, standoffish. What you would see physically in that person is they would have a very rigid upper body. They'd probably be pretty thin up at the top. A lot of tension and a lot of tightness, a lot of rigidity in their body and in their emotion. It can look like someone that's really critical of someone else or of themselves, devoid of love and tenderness in their life. Those are kinds of things that would look like blocks for that imbalance of energy. In addition, it can look like sadness and grief. Those are huge blocks to that energy. Someone that just has a constant sad or grief-like disposition and just not engaged with that love, either allowing it into their lives or having the capacity to offer it to others. The reasons for the imbalance typically are because of the word Anahata, because they've been struck. There's been a hurt. And again, you can always go back to the original, when this energy was first forming and creating that initial disposition of this human. If they were hurt, so ages 4 to 7, if that kid went to school and was not accepted, because remember the 5 social emotional needs, was not accepted by any peers or into a peer group, couldn't establish that affiliation, had no attention or affection or approval, was reprimanded a lot, criticized a lot, that would be the original strike. That would be the original disruptor of that energy. But again, with the chakra, they're never gone. Like, you're always with your chakra. So at any point in life, these things can happen. If you experience rejection, if you experience grief, loss, betrayal, those kinds of things can create these dispositions. So those would be the primary reasons for disruption in the heart chakra energy. As a holistic psychologist, those are similar to the things that I see. First, the things that I would see that would indicate an imbalance is, I always look at the person, and it would show up physically. Again, that kind of tight, rigid shoulder disposition, just locked in around the chest. I would notice, because I'm a holistic psychologist, I do mind body work, so I would notice their breathing. Absolutely, their breathing would be that kind of where inhaling, your shoulders go up, your lungs go down. So when you inhale, you take a belly breath. So if you're inhaling just stuck up here in the upper part of the lungs, that would indicate some blocks to heart chakra energy. If that person is chronically sick, especially with heart things or lungs things, like just cannot let go of a cold, it's just sitting on their chest. That's another thing. It goes into when they make their report to me when they're describing the reasons they're coming in for therapy in the first place, and describing hurts and loss and grief. And then they will immediately start to talk about how it feels. And it feels like a heaviness sitting on their chest. It feels like they can't get a free, full breath. The air element cannot flow in their system. It's just locked, it's dense, it's heavy, it's damp. All those kind of qualities could describe the feeling that they're having of that heart chakra energy disruption. Kind of on a more emotional, mental level, they will be discussing things, criticisms that they've received or that they give, judgments that they receive or that they give. It becomes that disposition. It's cold, it's dry, it's hard. Those are the energetic qualities of an imbalance, especially blocks, and mostly blocks. It also might be someone that's discussing a relationship that they're in where they are very clingy, overly dependent. Hate to call this out, but sometimes you see this with mom with children, where they cannot give enough love. They don't have a healthy boundary there. The clinical term would be enmeshment, where they're enmeshed. Their energy is enmeshed with another person's energy and is codependent, meaning that person's state of existence is affecting that person's state of existence. They cannot separate. So a mom can't be happy at all unless her child is happy. And of course, there's some like normal amount of this, but where there's absolutely no separation, would be the example that I would see of the excess showing up. So those are some kinds of things that I would see that would indicate the heart chakra imbalance. And again, to just say this one more time, because it's so important to note, love is your natural state. When your energies are in balance, just like the sense of safety and security, the sense of being able to feel joy, being able to feel like you have a can-do ability, that you can do things, you can activate your energies into your life. Love for the fourth chakra is your natural state. So when you can't feel that and you can't receive that, you can't give that, it suggests an imbalance. And so when there are imbalances, the chakras, again, are completely influential, if that's the right word. You can influence them at any time. And so there's many things that you can do if you're identifying that there is an imbalance to reestablish that balance for yourself. And as always, when we're implementing the strategies, the holistic strategies to help reestablish heart chakra balance, the intention is important. So here, the intention would be to be able to feel love, to be able to give love, to be able to open your heart, heal the wounds so that you can have the capacity for compassion and kindness and less judgment and less criticism and more love. So that's the intention behind all of these strategies. I always like to lead the holistic interventions with a physical one, in part because there's so much sensational quality to a physical intervention. There's things that you can do in your mind, and that's just a little bit more subtle. Absolutely still important and absolutely necessary to really create a full balance, but let's start with the physical. So because the heart chakra is right here in the heart, and because it's linked to the heart and the lungs and the air element, the movements would be around the heart chakra. So doing anything that has movement in this area. So first, releasing blocks of energy. And like I said, you would notice a heaviness, a tightness, some sensational quality that you could identify around this energy. So big inhales with your arms open wide, exhales, drawing it back in, those kinds of things. Doing exercises around the chest, the back of the shoulders, those kinds of things, both strengthening exercises and also movement exercises. A good stretch across the back would also be useful movements that you can do for the heart chakra. This goes right into the next, which is the breathing exercise. So again, these are pretty much linked up here. So taking big inhales, open your arms wide. When I'm working with someone that has heart chakra imbalance, either due to rejection in a relationship or grief or loss in a relationship, I often encourage them to get one of those exercise balls, the big ones that you blow up, and you lay back on it and you open your arms all the way, as much as physically you are able to, that's safely for your body. And you spread your fingers until you feel that sensation all the way to your fingertips. So you're laying across the ball and you just stay there for about 5 to 10 breaths, whatever your capacity is. And if you are new to moving this energy around, a lot of times that will just lead to crying. Like you will just have an affect, an emotional response to that. But that's good. That's starting to break up that energy, and don't go beyond what you can tolerate. We don't ever want to throw ourselves in the deep end in the healing. Like you just don't. You want to be kind and patient to yourself while you're reestablishing these energies. So taking big breaths, taking them in a way where your body is open so it really has a chance to let go, because we get protective of our hurts. And sometimes that's that cold, prickly disposition that you see with someone. They don't want to be that. Love is their natural state. They get that because they've had to form these like layers over that hurt. It's just not safe. It's not their fault. And so you want to approach this in a safe way to start to let go of those blocks and those barriers. Another breathing thing that you can do is to simply place your hands on your heart. Left hand on your heart. Left hand is your receiving hand. Right hand is your giving hand. So left hand on your heart, receiving, right hand giving, and taking deep breaths while you're simply feeling that energy just go through your body, back to your body, creating some self-love, self-compassion, self-kindness directed towards yourself. So that's another breathing that you can do for the heart chakra. Some meditations that you can do. Of course, there's heart chakra energies, meditations out there that you can listen to that usually are linked up with the vibrational qualities that are associated with the heart chakra. But one of my favorites, and I often would, if I would do a heart chakra yoga practice, can't not mention it, at the end, it's just simply a beautiful feeling meditation. And so you place your left hand over your heart, your right hand over that, and you imagine what you would deem the most beautiful feeling, the most beautiful emotion, whether it's love or kindness or compassion or peace, whatever it is for you. And you use your memory, you use your imagination, and you call that feeling up through those avenues. And as you inhale and you imagine, and through memory, the experience of it, bring it into every cell of your body. And as you exhale, you release any blocks. So hands over heart, imagining as you inhale, bringing in what you would deem the most beautiful feeling. And as you exhale, releasing blocks to that feeling. And that's a wonderful meditation that you can do for heart chakra energy. With all these holistic strategies, there's definitely overlap. None of these are in clean categories, which is lovely, right? I mean, because we're facilitating different parts, different aspects at the same time with these strategies, which is the nature of holistic medicine. So the next one would be forgiveness, a meditation on forgiveness, where you simply allow yourself to call up the energy of forgiveness to whoever you need to forgive, whether it's yourself or whether it's another person, and you make that statement to yourself that you choose that. You give yourself a moment to call up through a meditative state what it would be like to have forgiven that person, to be free of the hurt, free of the anger, free of whatever you're holding on that's binding you to that and therefore causing that block, that energy disruption within your system. And so you practice meditation on forgiveness. And that can be another unbelievably valuable one. And again, with these, like if you're listening to this and you recognize that you're in a heart chakra imbalance, what I just said might be unbelievably scary. And that's understandable. It's kind of like I said before, like don't throw yourself into the deep end. Don't go out and forgive people that have caused you significant amount of hurt. Take your time to establish the balance. You'll be ready when you're ready, and you simply have to trust that. Along with meditation comes mantra. Mantra means mind tool. So it's a tool that you're using in your mind, typically with a statement, and in japa mantra, repetition, saying it over and over again. So with this one, it would be something along the lines of, I am love. Love is my natural state. I deserve to feel love. I have the capacity to offer love. Those things, saying them over and over and over again, starts to create that energy through that mind tool. So that would be a mantra. I always like to throw in food and tea, kind of nutrients nutrition to be able to facilitate this. And again, this is always where I say this, and it's noteworthy in other parts, but specifically here, there are no random mistakes in nature. So the color green is associated with the heart chakra. Green foods, green plants, green things also are associated with the heart chakra. So eating green things, eating leafy greens, that leafy greens tend to have a bitter quality. Bitter is dry. It has a dry, so the element of air is already of that substance. So when you eat leafy greens, you are bringing in a healthy air element, a dry element that clears away those blocks. Because again, here the blocks tend to feel heavy and dense and damp. And so it lightens it up. So eating leafy greens is really good. Drinking tea is really good, especially because of the warmth, the touch. Touch is associated with heart chakra. So when you're holding that warm cup of tea, you're already starting to balance the heart chakra energy. And then typically what's in your cup of tea is greens. There has been some green plant that's been dried and now you're brewing it. Lemon balm would be an excellent choice. Rose is an excellent choice. I tend to reserve that one for the aromatherapy, but people put rose in their tea. It makes a lovely tea, lemon balm and rose. I would say passion flower, because I'm always loving that because it creates a peaceful feeling in your system. Again, so tea, leafy greens, those are healing things to consume for your heart chakra. Activities that you can do, things that you can engage in. Number one, top of the list, therapy, interpersonal therapy. When you're going to therapy and you're discussing yourself and yourself in relationships can be unbelievably useful to start facilitating heart chakra healing. Anytime you're doing anything interpersonal, interacting with other people, forming relationships, helping yourself break down barriers to relationships that may be old news, and doing that to break them down and allowing yourself to interact with more compassion, more kindness, more love, less judgment to yourself and others, is facilitating heart chakra energy balance. And activities, this can go with a sense of touch, but hug people, hug animals. I can't tell you how healing that is. There is research on this because it's so important. And when there's research, it means someone thought it was worth the money that it costs to conduct that research. And holding someone heart to heart, that's where the hug is. So whether it's a family member, your child, your partner, your friends, and or animals, it really is the same. They have little hearts. Let their warmth get near you. So having an animal that's huggable can be really useful. And you will notice that. I mean, we're just built this way. There's nothing random about us. So when you pick something up, that's where you put it. You put it right to your heart. And that in itself is healing. To go through the 5 physical senses. So let's start with sense of sight. Sense of sight, you would want to have things in your environment. As you know, I'm huge on priming your environment. So it's in a lot of videos because it does heal a lot of things. Prime your environment through the 5 physical senses. So putting things that you see that create that feeling of love. So people that you love, things that you love, images that you love, colors that you love. I mean, you really don't have to limit yourself in any way, shape, or form. Putting things around you that you love, like you might love an item and make sure it's out so that you can see it. You might love a sweater and make sure you wear it. Those kinds of things. And of course, pictures and frames, words that you love, quotes that you love, anything that you love, put it in your visual field. Put it somewhere where you can see it. As far as sound, you can go the same avenue. You can simply listen to things that you love, whether that's music or sounds like nature sounds, those kinds of things. It's going to serve as long as it's activating that feeling of love or peace or compassion or kindness. Any of the heart chakra energies, anything you listen to is going to help facilitate that. But specifically, as far as sound qualities go, it's string instruments. It's violins, violas, cellos, bass, those kinds of things. So orchestra music, classical music, is really good to help facilitate the heart chakra energy through sound. Touch, again, is the primary sense associated with heart chakra energy. So feeling things, especially because imbalance looks like cold, dry, hard. So going to balance would be going into warm, soft, soothing kinds of qualities. So animals, stuffed animals, if you can't have an animal or you don't have an animal, blankets, things that are soft, pillows. I mean, anything that feels like love to you, like soft, warm, kindness, compassion, those kinds of things are going to facilitate that through the sense of touch, through the sense of smell. Aromatherapy, huge for triggering emotions. So scents that are typically linked here to the heart chakra are rose, because it has a soft, a vanilla always because of the softness, lavender because of the peaceful, and then of course going back to the other qualities like the air element, again, the greens. So eucalyptus can be very useful. Any of the mints in the mint family can be useful. Rosemary can be useful. I do encourage you, if you're going to do aromatherapies, that you do think through kind of the big picture. It's kind of like tea. Like when we make a good, healthy, healing tea, we're doing layers. Like we do, it's not just one. I mean, it can be one, but we want to create kind of like a bouquet. And so with the aromatherapies, like having a little bit of rose and a little bit of like bergamot, and maybe a little bit of vanilla and maybe a little bit of eucalyptus. So you have kind of the fresh, the green for the air element, but the softness of the rose and the vanilla, and it creates that kind of whole disposition. So those are some good aromatherapies that you can use for this. Oh, I'm just going to throw in lime as well. Lime and rose and vanilla, oof, just delicious and lovey. And the sense and the taste, again, I did talk about the taste with the tea, but it would go back to the same properties, same qualities. So bitter taste because that has air element, and sweet taste because it has that kind of cozy, sweet, loving quality to it. So things that have both those tastes to them. So things that are bittersweet. And can we think of the number one? It's chocolate. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing random, right? Like there's a reason that we give chocolates to people that we love. There's a reason that we love chocolate, and the taste of chocolate. And especially, you know, to really kind of honor this, it'd be dark chocolate, because that does have a really healthy balance between the sweet and the bitter taste. Going into the next one, I just like to add in here, I mean, because all of it, anything that you do is going to be beneficial. The more that you do is going to be more beneficial. So gemstones, I love gemstones. I say that every time because it's just consistently true. And so the gemstones that are linked up to the heart chakra are the ones that are associated with love. So I always like to wear them to just give a little demo. Rose quartz is probably the number one. I mean, if you were to ask anybody what gemstone goes with heart chakra, it's rose quartz. Rose quartz is always known for healing energy, and rose quartz is known for healing love. It's the stone of unconditional love. It's often referred to as that. So it's a wonderful stone to wear to, again, prime you to be thinking about letting love into your life and healing from hurt so you can experience love in your life. Also, rhodonite is a really good one. That's this darker pink. It's opaque, so there's not a lot of movement of energies here. So it's a wonderful heart protector. That's often how we use it symbolically on our person, as a heart protector. So these pair up really well to kind of have that balance of protecting your heart from hurt, Anahata, unstruck, and then also facilitating the healing of the energy and allowing the energy of love to move. You can also use gemstones that are green, because green is linked up to heart chakra energy. So gemstones that are green aventurine, which is referred to as the stone of prosperity, green jade, which is stone of luck, which I think relates too, because there is something about being able to find someone to love that is definitely like a luck or a good fortune to that. And it's lovely to look at it like that. Malachite is another green stone that's naturally green, so we can't deny that there's some kind of innate quality to it there, but it's often referred to as the stone of adventure, which again can relate. If your heart chakra is healed and healthy, you're going to have the capacity for a little bit more adventure, to be able to bring love into your life, to be able to take those appropriate risks, to be able to do that because you feel healthy and strong and capable to do that. And lastly, I like to end with the journal prompts, because that is some really good work that someone can do on their own. Of course, that work is great done in therapy as well, where you're working on it and you're bringing it in with your therapist to kind of go through it and sort it out. But the journal prompts would be things like, how do I experience love in my life? How do I offer love in my life? What does compassion look like to me? How would that show up? What are judgments or criticisms that I could let go of that really are blocking me from being able to experience love in my life? So always the journal prompts is associated with the elements of the heart chakra energy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this information beneficial. I love the chakras. I think they're fascinating. And of course, this is a snapshot of chakra energy. And if nothing else, I hope this kind of sparked your curiosity to go learn and explore more. I always like to say this, that I do have a yoga practice available to help facilitate healing of the heart chakra energy. So I do encourage you, even if you just watch it and see the exercises and then cherry pick out the ones that you really like, or if you participate in the whole video, feel free to do that. It's out there. Thank you for watching.